It's the Gear Tester here, and this video is going to contain 3 parts. First, a look at a harness system that I'm using to pull a sled when I go snowshoeing. Then a discussion, some tips and tricks that I've learned about selecting gear over the years. And then finally, I'm going to talk about some equipment I'm using in this video. So I'm just out here today working on a proof of concept idea for a little sled or a polk that's used to pull while you're either skiing or snowshoeing. So you can see here, this is a little jet sled that I've had for a number of years, and I've used on a number of snow outings, day outings in the snow, pulling them while I've been snowshoeing. But I've always just had like a long cord. Maybe I'll throw some footage into me with a long cord pulling it. I got on Hill People Gear's website, and they've got their products and things there that I love. Their kit bags, okay? So they've got their kit bags, they've got a number of excellent pieces of equipment that I like and a number that I've used. But they've got some articles there as well that I believe the owner and some of his friends and relatives have written. And one of those is on making a polk, which in essence is a sled, okay? But this is like a little system that keeps it from running into you when you go down a hill. So it's just a piece of PVC pipe, okay? So about 5 feet pieces of PVC pipe with some little shackles here, some little beaners, so I can take it off, fit it all in my car, and then reattach it. They recommend a sled from Pelican, which I think is probably a better option, but I already had this sled, and so I didn't want to go out and have to spend more money. So in total, this whole little project, the PVC pipe, the cord or rope that I use in these little beaners cost less than 25 bucks for me to set this up. I had some of this paracord. I drilled the holes in here this afternoon so I could have some kind of a way to hold stuff in. That's another thing that's been lacking. This project for me will be completed when I get some kind of a covering with elastic and a pull cord that goes over it so no snow gets in. But today I'm just out here testing proof of concept. Have I set stuff up the way I want to? And I'm playing around with a belt system. Okay, I've just got a strap here. One of the things that is mentioned in that article from Hill People Gear is that it's better if you cross these and makes it more controlled. I'm finding that this distance here that I tied in is too short. It would be nice if the pipes came up more on either side of me, so when I'm carrying it here, it'd be nice if they rode up further here. I think that would make it more stable. It still wants to fishtail around on you, so coming down a hill, you are still going to have to grab it, is what I'm finding. Kind of grab it like this. But it would be better here. Okay, it would be better if they came up further around me so that they're more around my waist. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's better for them to come up closer to you like that, okay, than being further behind you. I don't know how tying a strap like that would work with mittens. It might be just fine, but it's working fine with these gloves. So this is where it's wanting to kind of fishtail and come down on me. So having the pipes crossed and then being able to grab it here with my hands is making it a lot more functional. It wants to push me, but it's not smacking into my legs. And in fact, with this more position forward of my hips, okay, it's not getting away from me as much either. You can see there's not that much snow on the ground here today. This is really just a proof of concept. The snowshoes, more than anything, are giving me a little traction, okay? But I could be walking on these trails with boots just fine. Generally, I think it's pretty clear that any kind of travel in the winter is going to be more difficult, okay, particularly when you're traveling on foot. But one benefit of winter when you're traveling on foot is that you can carry things like a sled because of the snow that's on the ground, or assuming that you have snow on the ground, and that makes things easier in the sense that you can carry a heavier load. You can see I've got my little Camelback there. Generally I'd just be carrying that. I've got 2 other bags with stuff in it because it's easy when you have the sled. So nature gives and nature takes. And if you're equipped for specific environmental features, you can take advantage of that. And you can actually work with nature rather than against nature. Let's talk a little bit about the snowshoes I'm using. These are MSR Evo snowshoes, and I really like them. They're very durable. They've got a very kind of serrated pattern on the bottom of them, so they're really good even in icy conditions. So even if you're walking on, say, like asphalt or concrete, and then there's frozen water on it, just like straight up ice, you can still kind of sneak across passage places, and you're not going to slip. Also, because of the grid pattern on the bottom of them, these are just plastic, okay? Walking uphill right now, there's no temptation for me to slide back. Some may feel that they are not long enough, okay? There is an attachment that you can get on the back that adds like another 6 or 8 inches on. I'm probably going to do that, but for most of the snowshoeing that I do, this is just fine. I don't need the bigger snowshoes because I'm just doing little day hikes, an hour, 2 hours, and generally it's not through huge amounts of powder. You would need bigger snowshoes, I think, if you're going to go through a lot of powder. If you're going to be out for multiple days, I think you'd be better cared for with a bigger pair of snowshoes. However, these really excel around camp, being able to get around, get close to stuff, do things like cooking and things. So on a day hike, they're great, and lots of people use them for overnight stuff. You would not be unequipped, and especially if you're with a group, so that you don't always have to be breaking trail, then they'd be just fine, I think. Some of you may notice I'm wearing a little Arc'teryx sweater here. I knew I was going to get hot, so I have just a t-shirt and this base layer kind of hoodie, Polartec fleece. Threw that on. I really like Arc'teryx gear. It is overpriced, and it's totally worth it. I actually got this green vest at a secondhand sporting goods store for a really good price. In fact, I bought a couple Arc'teryx items from that secondhand store. They've been in great condition. My channel is labeled TheGearTester, and I tend to be a little bit of a brand snob. So I have lots of other great vests, lots of other great fleeces. What I really like about Arc'teryx is they use Polartec. Now lots of companies use Polartec. What I'll tell you is this, give you this little trick for free. If it has Polartec fabric, okay, and I'll throw a label in so you know what that looks like, and it has YKK zippers, it's going to be a good quality investment for winter clothing for you. If a company has the money to pay for YKK zippers and Polartec, I'm less interested about the brand. That tells me whether it's a kind of a military surplus kind of brand. Okay, like I have a big heavy fleece that's Polartec, that's I got brand new, but is a military issue fleece made from Polartec. I don't know whether it has YKK zippers. I think it probably does. I'll throw pictures in here. Here's the thing. If it's got Polartec fleece, it's got YKK zippers, no matter who's making it, it's probably going to be made to a pretty good quality. If it's got good stitching, you've got great fabric, great zippers, it's going to last you until you wear it out, if ever, you know, and that's going to be a lot of use to wear it out. Here, I'm heading downhill again. So there's a little trick on, you know, hit up Goodwill, hit up secondhand clothing places. What I do is I look less for sizes and I look more for the brands that I like, and things like Polartec, YKK zippers, and that kind of gives me guidance on whether or not I want to purchase the item. Why don't we head down here a little bit? Getting ahead of myself. Oh. I'm wearing some Salomon Quest boots here. Let's see if I can pull my pant leg up. Some Salomon Quest boots. I did kind of a initials impressions video about 2.5, maybe 3 years ago. Haven't mentioned them since. People requested that I do some more reviews on them. I'll get to that here. One of the reasons I have not done a review on them yet is because I was a little dissatisfied with them. I wore them, so let's be fair to the Salomon Quest boots. I wore them almost every day, most of the day, for over a year. Then I got some other Salomon shoes that were a little more flexible, lighter, more like trail running shoes that I wore every day. Put those on the shelves. Then I went about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I went on a 70-mile backpacking trip into Montana. Okay, so we went about 35 miles in, came out 35 miles, and these Quest boots sprung a leak. The Gore-Tex, it rained all the time on us. It was pretty lousy. It was a fun backpacking trip, but it was, as Patrick McManus would say, a fine but pleasant misery. So the thing was, is I got a little unhappy and dissatisfied with them. Last year I used these for snowshoeing. This year I'm using them for snowshoeing, and as long as things are dry, I'm good to go. They've still got a great sole on them. On average, Gore-Tex boots, the Gore-Tex is going to be awesome for about a year to a year and a half if you wear them every day. That's just the cost of admission. You got to pay that forward and then realize that it'll probably be time to get another pair of boots. So I'll throw some of this footage into that full-length review that I'm going to do on the Salomon Quest boots. But I've really enjoyed them. I really like the way they feel. For a Salomon boot they've got, or Salomon shoe, my others are much more flexible, more like trail running shoes. This is a little beefier, a little more ankle support, significantly less flex in the toes and the body of the foot, but I like that. I like that additional support. Hey, you know what? Let's talk about some gear I don't have on myself right now. I had the opportunity to shoot a Ruger Gunsight Scout. Again, a review that I did, man, like 4 years ago. I kind of did a review on practical accuracy on the Ruger Gunsight Scout. I'd purchased it. I ended up moving to go to grad school, and I moved to an area where I didn't have access to long-range shooting, and I wanted to get into the AK market, so I sold my Ruger Gunsight Scout and got a Arsenal AK-74. Okay, an Arsenal SLR 104 FR, if I remember right. Great gun. I love that gun. And because it's a semi-auto and you can shoot long and you can shoot close with it, I had a lot more fun because I had ranges out to about 50 yards that I could shoot at with a rifle. Well, here recently, one of my close friends bought a Ruger Gunsight Scout, and so I'll roll in some footage here of us shooting it. It's a newer version. It's the blued version with the polymer stock, and it comes with a, not a flash suppressor, but a compensator on it, and that is awesome. Makes shooting the gun much more comfortable. I look forward to shooting the Gunsight Scout at further distances. Leave a comment down below, depending on the reviews, whether you guys want me to do a review sooner on the snowshoes, on the Gunsight Scout, or some more shooting with my friend's Gunsight Scout. The boots, maybe a more in-depth look at some Arc'teryx garments and how I like them. The pants I'm wearing here are some 511 pants. I don't have anything, any long johns or anything on underneath. I'm also running Smart Wool, Smart Wool socks. They call them liner socks. My hands and feet tend to get very hot all the time. I don't need a big thick wool sock, especially when I'm out doing exercise like this. So they're the liner socks. I'll throw a picture in there. I love those. I wear them all year round. There are times where I'm going to be out in the cold for extended periods where I put on a thicker sock. But as a rule, I generally am wearing Smart Wool liner socks. What else can we talk about? Got a sweet little knife sharpener kit, and took the opportunity. I got it as a Christmas gift, and took the opportunity to sharpen up some of my knives, and this now is close to shaving sharp. I need to figure out how to really tune the system for my particular blades. I'm just learning how to work it, run it, angles, all that kind of stuff. But it was a pretty sharp, it was a pretty expensive knife sharpener kit. Pretty expensive, but it's going to be worth it. It was like $250. Here's the thing, and I can't remember the name of it right now, but it's proven itself. I've got a number of different knives that are super sharp. Oh, here's one. I have a whole bunch of knives that I bought, either got used, and as they got dull, I kind of put them away. Here's a little knife that I got at a pawn shop for $2. Let's be more realistic, like $5.50. A little Spyderco. That thing is shaving sharp. In fact, I'm missing a lot of hair on my left arm because after I used the sharpening system, I just couldn't stop shaving the hair off. This is a knife that I just wasn't carrying, wasn't using because it was dull. And I had no way to really make sure that I got a really nice edge on it. Now it's perfect. It's awesome, and as you can see, it's along for the ride. So I got two blades on me, the little one and my bigger Benchmade Griptilian. Ooh, let's talk about this. I've been spending some time talking and interacting with Brian from Occam Defense Solutions. You guys have seen some videos in September, October that were filmed in his shop when James Yeager came by, and filmed some videos there talking about Occam lube, which is high quality lube in these awesome little syringes that pack up, that don't leak, that Brian has developed the lube to. So I'm going to be doing reviews on the lube. I've actually been using that lube on a whole bunch of my guns. I put it on my two primary guns, my Glock 43, which is running right here, and then my Smith & Wesson 442 little snubby J-frame that I carry. Those are my two primary everyday carry guns. Got on that, got on my 30-30, running it on a number of my different guns. He's got 3 different kinds of lubes. He's got the red lube, the white lube, and black lube. I'm using all 3 of those, and I'm keeping track. So far the guns are running really smooth. I was really happy with my Marlin 336Y. That's a youth version, 16-inch barrel, 12.5-inch length of pull on the stock, so shortened stock, shortened barrel. I took all that gun apart, cleaned it really good. I've been hand loading for it. Just wanted to make sure everything was running smoothly in it, and I lubed it up with the black lube that's supposed to be really good for cold weather because it has graphite in it. So I've been really happy in the cold how that gun's been running. The other thing that I'm excited about is Brian has given me one of his rear sight components, the RST, if I'm remembering right. I'll annotate it, put a link to it down below, and it replaces your rear sight block on an AK-47, AK-74. Okay, and I'm looking forward to having that put on my Arsenal SLR 107 CR, which will allow me to snap things like an aim point, micro on really quick, pop it off, and still use iron sights. You no longer will have the adjustable iron sights. I don't really care about that because I find a zero that I like that's got a good coefficient. So let's say find a zero that basically I've got a minimal dispersion of my groups from 0 to say 200 yards. I'll zero that with the front sight post, okay, for windage and elevation, get that locked in, put the red dot on it, and realistically, for my purposes, for my uses, I'm not going to be shooting an iron-sighted gun out past 200 yards, chambered in 7.62 by 39. Could I? Yeah. Could I do some holdovers? You better believe it. But you lose that the little slide bar, okay, that folds up and allows you to actually be able to hold on to your target. You just have to do a holdover some Kentucky windage. I don't think that would be a major problem. So there's some of the stuff that I've been working on. Oh, I've also got a number of reviews that are coming out here on oatmeals, which is it's not dehydrated like Mountain House or other meals I've featured. It's a full-on, just like a already wet meal. You're just heating it up, so you're not reconstituting it. They're cool. I've got some concerns about them. So far I've eaten 3 of them. I've had the vegetarian, I think, chili. I've had beef and beans, if I'm not mistaken, or beef. Anyway, one of them with beef, and then chicken and rice. I thought the food quality was great. I love the fact that they're self-contained, kind of like an MRE. They come with a spoon, napkin, salt, pepper, and then a heater. So you heat it all in the bag. Love that about them. I'm concerned that they don't have enough calories. They've only got something like, man, less than 250 calories in the meal, sometimes as low as 170. That's just not enough. But on a day like today, okay, when I'm just out on this little day hike, my car is close by here. In fact, I'm headed back at this point. It'd be great to be able to stop. You pour 5 ounces of water in it. 5 to 7 minutes later, you've got a nice hot snack that would be somewhere between 170 and 250 calories. And for that, it would be optimal. For actually taking, for a backpacking trip, multi-day, say, like that 70-mile backpacking trip I went on, I would rather have the dehydrated or freeze-dried meals to save weight, because those meals are reconstituted. But for a quick snack, I think they're excellent. And in fact, I wish I had one in my sled here. Hey, if you guys like this video, I would encourage you to subscribe to my channel for more quality video reviews on the topics of shooting, camping, and survival gear. If you subscribe to my channel, don't forget to hit the notification bell. That will alert you when I upload other reviews. This is the Gear Tester, signing off.